What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the 4-4 YouTube channel. Welcome back to another transactions video where I, Hutch, deliver you 5 transactions that you need to make in your fantasy football leagues this week. Before I get in this video, though, please subscribe to this YouTube channel and click that little notification bell so you'll be notified every single time a new video drops. And go to 44.com/plans. You can find tons of amazing premium content. I'm telling you right now, I've seen all the content myself since now that I've been working with 44. It's worth the buy. It's definitely worth the buy. But right now, if you use the code YouTube, all caps YouTube, you can get 25% off your plan. So go to 44.com/plans and use the code YouTube to get 25% off your plan. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. 5 transactions that you need to make in your fantasy football leagues this week. The first one's going to be buying Tee Higgins. We're talking about buying Tee Higgins because I think that it's going to come together over the second half of the season. So far this year, it's been a pretty rough season for Tee Higgins. He's dealt with a couple injuries. He even had a game this year where he saw 8 targets and caught 0 passes. He hit the top 30 once this season. To be fair, he was the wide receiver 4 on the week in that week. But otherwise, he's been a disaster. He's kind of hit rock bottom. This is kind of the worst that we've seen of Tee Higgins. It's just been disastrous so far this season. I just see it going better in so many different ways. First off, the offense is getting better. Over the last few weeks, Joe Burrow started to look more healthy. The offense has been beginning to roll at a high level, and Tee Higgins is slowly getting back healthier as well. If he's at full strength, he's too talented. He is too necessary to this offense, and this offense is too good for him to remain this level of production. So in redraft, if you can trade for him on the cheap, go for it. There's a lot of people who have Tee Higgins that are panicking. I mean, fair enough. I mean, you picked him in like the 3rd or 4th round of fantasy drafts this year, and he's destroying your team right now. But I think he's worth the buy low, and sneaky in Dynasty as well. I've seen him go for a 24 first alone. Like before this season, you'd probably have to pay 2 firsts to get Tee Higgins. Maybe like a first, maybe a first and a second, but usually you'd have to pay 2 firsts. So I'd be buying the heck out of Tee Higgins. The next one's going to be Trey McBride. Adding Trey McBride off your waiver wire, or even trading for him if you want to, if he's not available on your waiver wire. But Trey McBride's been somebody that I don't think I've talked enough about on this channel, but on Twitter, on my other pieces of content I've made, I've always been in on Trey McBride. I've loved the talent. Remember, this guy put up 1,100 yards in a single college season, and we finally have seen the big breakout. 14 targets, 10 receptions, 95 yards, and a touchdown. The targets, the catches, and the yards are all career highs for Trey McBride. He had a massive performance against Baltimore, and he's slowly been ramping up in targets over the last 2 weeks. The snaps have been going up. The involvement in the offense has been going up, and Kyler Murray is going to come back soon, and we know that could be huge for this offense. So Trey McBride's somebody that is going to be a potentially really great fantasy tight end. He's super athletic. He knows how to make plays with the ball in his hands. I mean, you saw it just in this last game. He's making people miss. He's a really good player, really athletic player. And he's going to be something that makes a lot of plays this year. I'm really excited for him. So the next one, this is more of a negative one. We're not buying, we're not adding. We're actually selling a player here. Not desperately, but I'd look out for offers for Will Levis. And Will Levis in redraft leagues is mostly on the waiver wire, and in superflex leagues, he's probably on your bench. But I would just keep in mind if someone sends you an offer for Will Levis. Look, I know I'm taking a shot here. I know I'm taking a really weird shot because he just had a 4-touchdown game. He looked impressive too. I think he looked decent. The reactions that I've seen on Twitter, not just in redraft, but especially in Dynasty, it's unreal how much people are moving him up. I mean, I put out polls. I've seen polls put up. There are plenty of people who'd rather have Will Levis over guys like Justin Fields and Deshaun Watson and Geno Smith and Daniel Jones. That's a lot for one game. I understand, your concerns with those other players. I mean, I'm not a Deshaun Watson fan here. I am not a Daniel Jones fan here. I'm not much of a Geno Smith fan here. I still have faith in Justin Fields. But you can't say Will Levis after one game is concrete better than all 4 of those guys in Dynasty. You just can't do it. Obviously, if he comes out and has another big game, he's already been named the starter for Thursday night. Like that's huge. He could have another big game. He could, really establish himself, but he could also flop and have a horrible game. So please, if you get a high offer for Will Levis, especially in Dynasty, I would sell him. Add Jahan Dotson. That's the next transaction we're talking about here. I mean, this one's kind of obvious. He's been disastrous this season so far, but last week he finally had his breakout week. He led the team in receptions, receiving yards. He just obliterated the Eagles. He ate the Eagles defense alive. He was wide open every single play. That's what Jahan Dotson does, man. He gets open and he's really good hands, and he's so quick with the ball in his hands. This dude knows how to make plays. If this breakout continues throughout the season, he continues to have fantasy relevance, he's going to be a golden waiver wire ad. So please add him in your fantasy football leagues if he's been dropped this season. And then the last one, another negative one here. Just cut Foreman. I mean, he had his big week. He had it. But this Bears backfield is now back to a gross committee. And without Justin Fields, this offense is just not great. And Foreman is just not going to be a relevant fantasy piece. So if you picked him up and, hope that his dominance after that 1 week could continue through the rest of the season a little bit, it's just not going to happen. So just cut ways with Foreman. But that's going to be it for this video today. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Click that little notification bell so you'll be notified every single time a new video drops on this YouTube channel. And again, 44.com/plans. Use the code YouTube for 25% off. And follow me on Twitter at HutchSimB_FF. So we'll see you all later this week. I've got a matchups video coming to talk about the best and the worst starts in fantasy football for this week. See y'all then.